Jeff Darlington has been all over this story from the very beginning. Jeff, what can you tell us?
Everything is full go. The contract is signed. Tom Brady now officially a member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And now you have all these weapons. The real question is, no risk it, no biscuit. That ain't Tom Brady.
And I'm going to tell you right here and right now that the Bucs aren't doing anything special, aren't making the playoffs with or without Tom Brady.
This one's tapped. Back the other way for the touchdown. It's Janoris Jenkins, a pick six.
Tom Brady is washed. I'm sorry. It ain't happening. It's a pipe dream. It'll be a disappointment.
Brady looks terrible. Terrible.
What do you think makes a good ball player?
I don't know.
You don't know?
For a future Hall of Famer, Brady's early life in football was a constant struggle for recognition.
I'd like to introduce my starting quarterback from this past season, Tom Brady.
Brady never developed into a blue-chip recruit, but he caught the attention of the maize in blue. The University of Michigan opened its doors to him.
These two teams met the toughest schedules in all of college football in the BCS computer rankings. Alabama had the toughest schedule of all. Michigan was number 2.
Alabama came through with a 10-2 record. Michigan 9-2. Tough schedules.
Since back in August comes to a head as we're underway.
And I want you to remember this. The Big Ten, where Tom Brady played at Michigan, was a very well-respected league when he was drafted.
And we're looking forward to that. Brady.
Royal touchdown! There you go. Here's what Mel Kiper said about Brady. Smart, experienced, big game quarterback. High grades and efficiency.
The gun, here comes a blitz from the corner.
Got Terrell in the open field. David Terrell inside the 20. Michigan touchdown.
Doesn't show nervous feet. Nice job working through progressions. Accurate, very catchable ball.
Brady fires out to him again. The 10. He's in again. Touchdown, Michigan.
Very good against Notre Dame, Wisconsin, Michigan State, Ohio State, Alabama. He's 34 of 46 for 4 touchdowns.
Fires across the middle. His tight end's got it. Sean Thompson, touchdown.
And I'm asking you today, if I said there's this quarterback at Michigan who's great in big games, 6'4.5", would he drop to the 5th round or 6th round? I don't think he would.
Did he miss it? He did. Michigan wins in overtime.
We kidded you about being the comeback kid. Wow. You didn't want to have to wait till the 4th quarter to bring the team back, but you did a tremendous job.
What better way to go as a 5th-year senior as an Orange Bowl victory?
This is the draft report on you. Basically, it goes poor build, skinny,
lacks mobility, and the ability to avoid the rush. Lacks a really strong arm.
You saw this tall, gangly-looking kid. Looked like haven't ever seen a weight room.
Is he going to take off and run it? Obviously, he's not. He ran the ugliest looking 40-yard dash in the history of the combine. I give you that.
Can't drive the ball downfield, does not throw a really tight spiral. System-type player who can get exposed if forced to add lift.
That kind of gets me fired up because I'm thinking, what the hell do these people know?
I only had one call from the NFL. Bobby Greer, who was with the Patriots at the time, talked about they were going to draft a quarterback late.
We're in the draft room. It was the 5th round. We already had 3 quarterbacks at the time. We had just signed our number 1 quarterback, Drew Bledsoe, for a lot of money. I remember Belichick walking up to the board and said, wow, this Brady's still on the board. And with the 199th overall pick, they selected a skinny quarterback from Michigan named Tom Brady.
So what do you think it was that all the scouts missed?
I think they underestimated my competitiveness. I think they underestimated how much I really enjoyed playing football.
I can't stand it. Run it again. Huddle up and run it again, Brady.
When it's like your priority, when it's something that is very important in your life, when you love to play the game, that says a lot. And that says that you'll do just about anything to get where you want to go.
Just want to throw so you can get on TV, huh?
Yeah. And
Welcome back to Foxborough.
I remember we were out in California for a wedding, and he was talking, and he said, I'm going to beat out Drew Bledsoe. And I go, we call each other coach. I go, Coach, this is Drew Bledsoe, Pro Bowl quarterback. He goes, I'm telling you, and he starts throwing that ball harder at me, harder. I got no gloves on. He's ripping my hands to shreds, and he goes, I'm going to beat him out. You just watch.
Oh, my. And look at Drew.
Yeah, this is more critical than the first down to the Patriots' hopes.
And Drew Bledsoe is on the sideline.
You know, I think I don't know if it happened that day or the next day or whatever. When that actually, you know, I found out that Tommy was going to keep playing and I wasn't. But sat down in Belichick's office. Yeah, certainly wasn't very happy about it.
Complete, but just short yardage to Patrick Pass.
And I knew when he got hurt that there was no way Tommy was going to get that job back to Drew.
Now he'll crank it up and incomplete down at the 2-yard line. So the New York Jets have defeated the New England Patriots 10-3.
I remember that night going to the hospital. You know, I think only then did we realize the extent of what had happened.
Bledsoe's injuries will thrust second-year backup Tom Brady into the starting role for this Sunday's matchup against the high-powered Indianapolis Colts.
Brady had won 5 of his first 8 starts. But in many ways, the 2001 Patriots were still Drew Bledsoe's team.
We know that the inevitable day is going to be here where Drew's going to be healthy, Tom's playing well. What's going to happen here? No disrespect to Tom, but without Drew getting hurt, he would have never seen the field.
With a 5-5 record, a hard decision was finally made.
That's what Mr. Kraft's paying me to do, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make the decisions that I think are the best for the football team. T-E-A-M, as in team.
Are you hurt, frustrated, or how do you feel?
Next question. I'll just put it this way. I look forward to the chance to compete for my job. And I'll leave it at that.
I was there that night in Foxborough, and it was simply the most outrageous decision I have ever witnessed in my career.
Not hitting. He had it, both hands on the ball. It's in his body. He ain't bringing it back into his body. It's a fumble.
The Raiders have the ball, and he rocked his former Michigan teammate.
Game over. Or so we thought.
After reviewing the play, the quarterback's arm was going forward. It is an incomplete pass.
To advance to the AFC Championship game.
Further than Bob Kraft and Max Kellerman. I would say he is the greatest team sportsman of our time.
Today's big story is the Brady-Bledsoe debate.
We want to know who you think should start.
You know, there's a lot of controversy on who's going to play in this game.
There are moments when you're like, that game plan, better than anything we've seen. But it doesn't come to life until you have a player that can execute. That's Tom Brady.
When they weren't sure who was going to start, and then we went to practice on Wednesday, and Tom Brady looked okay.
The guessing game is over. Tom Brady will start at quarterback for the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Here's what I'm going to say. Are there guys more talented than Tom Brady? Absolutely. Okay. Guys have more gaudy stats than Tom Brady? Absolutely. But when we look back on sports, we always look at moments, how people play in the clutch. Is there a more clutch player in the national, feared player in the National Football League?
Tom Brady, overrated.
I think that the Patriots, with this field position, you have to just run the clock out. You have to play for overtime now. I don't think you want to force anything here. You don't want to do anything stupid because you have no timeouts and you're backed up.
Drew was kind of standing next to me, and he kind of just shuffled in front of that, and he says, "F that. Go out there and sling it."
Gets it up.
I would have to say he's the best at answering the challenge there ever was. Yes, I've not seen anybody have that many big games and answer the challenge as well as he has.
Up the middle, top, and it's Troy Brown, and he gets out of bounds, and they might be in Vinatieri's range.
Every one of them was won with a game-winning drive in the fourth quarter overtime. You want to talk about off the charts? You want to talk about legendary? You want to talk about impossible? That's impossible.
I'll tell you, what Tom Brady just did gives me goosebumps.
Adam Vinatieri, 48-yard field goal attempt. Set to go, snap, ball down, kick up. Kick is on the way, and it is.
I always want to feel like I'm the best quarterback for this team. I want to earn it every single day.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Gordy's 8-yard field goal, and the game is over, and the Patriots are Super Bowl champions. The Patriots are Super Bowl champions, the best team in the National Football League.
How about this? Jim Irsay sat in the competition committee, and he changed the rules. He spearheaded changing the rules of coverage because he couldn't beat the Patriots' defense.
All that matters is what happens here today. One of these teams is 60 minutes from the Super Bowl.
A real stunner from the Patriots. Today, the team cut Lawyer Malloy, one of their most popular players.
I want to say this very clearly. They hate their coach. And their season could be over depending on how quickly they can get over this emotional devastation they suffered because of Lawyer Malloy.
He was wrong. He was flat wrong because he wasn't in our locker room. So how can he say that we hate our coach?
Running out of time, throws towards the end zone, intercepted. Picked off by Rodney Harrison. Goes to work from his own 41. Play fake. Buys him time. Now on a roll and throws, and it is intercepted. Ty Law picks it off. Back across the 40 to his own 41-yard line. The New England Patriots on their way to Super Bowl 38. Marbles, Super Bowl 38, the Carolina Panthers and the New England Patriots.
Let's on the field. Don't get trash talk with them.
Look, you cannot let this man get comfortable. Yep. Because the more comfortable he gets, the more uncomfortable he'll make you.
Touchdown.
Tom Brady lived for this moment. He's made his name. Tom Brady, legends are made in the playoffs. And he's had more big playoff moments.
Go deep down the far sideline. It is
than any other quarterback in the history of the game.
Touchdown! Steve Smith!
And I tell anybody to this day, that was the most physical game I've ever played.
Tommy's development really was a rallying point for the whole team. By this 2003 season, now they knew that anytime we were in any situation, they had a quarterback that could win the game for them.
Looking, gonna go deep, has his man wide open, it's Muhammad! Muhammad to the 15, 10, 5, touchdown!
Was enough for him to end the conversation about whether or not Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time.
Touchdown! Mike Vrabel. Big blitz throwing the end zone, touchdown!
Now the only question is, have the Carolina Panthers left too much time on the clock? We're sitting here with 1:08 left to go.
I'm sitting over there sweating bullets, and Ty Law, he looked at me. He said, Rodney, we're not going to lose this game. You know why? Because we have Tom Brady.
Pass this side, Troy Brown with the catch.
Does he think his legacy is not cemented?
What a catch at the 45-yard line.
I think he looks at himself as a sixth-round draft choice, and he's always looked at himself as that. That's why he prepares. That's why he never takes anything for granted.
Has his man inside the 25-yard line. Deion Branch made the catch, and timeout is called with 8 seconds on the clock.
And I always remember he looked me like a laser eye to eye, and he said, "That's right, and I'm the best decision this organization has ever made."
Patriots claim their second Super Bowl championship in 3 years. We have talked about it. In this era of free agency and player movement, that's as close to a dynasty as you're ever going to find.
Let me drive it home a little further. Belichick's first year in New England, 5-11. They start off Belichick's second season 0-2. So he's 5-13 in New England. Brady takes over, and the rest is history. They immediately turn around.
I tell you what, guy. Without question in my mind, that quarterback over there, number 12, I think the greatest quarterback that's ever played our game, is a bigger reason why they are where they are year in and year out than even the great Bill Belichick.
Let me just read you a little something here. I thought this was kind of interesting. First I thought I couldn't believe it, but it's actually true. I'm talking about the Philadelphia parade after the game. All right, it's 11 o'clock in case anyone want to attend that. It's going to go from Broad Street up to Washington Avenue, past City Hall.
And it goes toward the end zone, and this one is picked off. Intercepted by Rodney Harris.
Then down to Benjamin Franklin Parkway, and we'll end up at the Park Museum.
Fires, and it is caught. Gibbons, touchdown.
But I will say this, who's done it better? Tom Brady's got a handful of rings. I mean, no matter how you look at it, you're measured by your wins and losses.
Brady play action, fires.
But if it doesn't translate to wins and championships, there's still something to be said about that.
What a catch by Branch. Deion Branch took it away from Sheldon Brown, and that was good for 19.
17 seconds away from back-to-back world championships for the Patriots.
There is one man in sports you do not bet against. His name is Thomas Edward Patrick Brady.
Down the middle of the field, the pass is picked off by Harrison. Rodney Harrison takes it in, and 9 seconds remain, and the New England Patriots are on their way to solidifying their team as an NFL dynasty. And the New England Patriots will be the first dynasty of the 21st century.
Tom, what he said to me, he goes, pretty cool. Not bad for a 6th-round pick.
The Tom Brady I saw yesterday was 43 going on 23. You say his arm strength has diminished. I don't see a hint or ounce of that. Do you realize the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or Succaneers, had lost 42 straight games in which they trailed by 17 or more points? That's because you had the GOAT yesterday. And the GOAT did something that he does the best.
Brady. Tosses. Touchdown! Mike Evans grabs it for the score.
Well, we looked elite yesterday. That's the bottom line. 5 touchdown passes, 369 yards, overcoming a 24-7 deficit. Last time I checked, that does matter.
Oh, perfectly thrown to O.J. Howard. Touchdown, Buccaneers. 46 yards downfield. Fake it. Oh, you can't do it any better. Brady to Miller. Touchdown, Tampa Bay.
I mean, we all know, his track record and his resume.
speaks for itself. I mean, we need him to play like that, week in, week out, if we want to be the special team that we're capable of being. And we have the utmost confidence in Tom, and he had a hell of a game today.
Coming after Brady, gets it away. He's picked in the end zone. It's Bailey. Bailey taken off, and he gets away from the one man who had a shot at him. Talk about a game changer. Bailey, is he in or not? Running it back 100 yards before Watson comes in at the last minute.
You're acting like none of that happened. That's why they won. Stop with the Tom Brady love. It's terrible. It's sick.
Intercepted. Colts are going to the Super Bowl. Marlon Jackson.
Stop being a Tom Brady homer and look at the games. Look at the defense. I just named 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls. The defense won it. It wasn't Tom Brady.
The Patriots and Raiders making it official. Oakland sending disgruntled yet talented wide receiver Randy Moss to New England for a 4th-round draft pick.
The Patriots lost 1 game from opening day to the Super Bowl. It happened to be the Super Bowl. We're punishing them for that.
Yeah, you think? You got to win the Super Bowl.
That's a top 10 team of all time. It is.
That's a joke.
To come in motion to the left. Brady to play action fake. Back to throw. Has time. Airs it out. Downfield. Randy Moss. Touchdown. Wow. 3 guys are on. Tom Brady threading the needle to Randy Moss. And the Patriots are blowing the doors off the New York Jets in this season opener.
Brady threw 50 touchdowns that season. He had 8 interceptions.
Randy Moss, 6th touchdown of the season.
He was the first unanimous MVP in NFL history.
To the end zone, touchdown. It's Moss. The pass, pulled down by Moss. Touchdown, New England.
My name is Optimus Prime. Randy Moss! Another spectacular catch by this incredible football player.
Right, the best team is Randy Moss, 23 touchdowns. Tom Brady, MVP, throws 50 touchdowns.
And what do you do?
And made one hellacious great throw to Randy Moss.
This is unbelievable.
That's a lateral going back to Brady. Now Brady wanting to go long. Gaffney's waiting for it. Gaffney is in for the touchdown right over Anthony Smith.
Only 4 quarters remain between the Patriots and football immortality, with one giant obstacle in their way.
But there is a team that belongs there, and it's a team that hit the highest peak.
Brady with time.
That team was setting offensive records. They were undefeated in the regular season.
Going back again to Moss. Touchdown Patriots.
They get through the playoffs till the final game of the season. There were articles written all over the place and pundits saying this is about to be considered the greatest team in the history of American team sports. So that's what we have on the Patriots side.
I would take Eli Manning in big moments when it matters most.
20 seconds left in the half and the ball's knocked loose.
The New England Patriots are averaging 37 points a game that year. The Giants defense held them to 14.
Say it again, Brady, 28 career game-winning performances to lead his team to a victory. A 4th quarter deficit or tie, and he accomplished that in all 3 of his Super Bowl wins to this point.
Tom Brady did what he always does in every 4th quarter of every Super Bowl. Here's what he did to Randy Moss. He said, I got you. Kaboom.
Finish him. Touchdown.
Okay, all of a sudden, they're ahead 14-10. Couldn't you at least stop Eli Manning from having to go the length of the field to score a touchdown?
Pressure from Thomas off the edge. Eli Manning stays on his feet. Airs it out down the field. It is caught by Tyree.
For the fact of the matter, we hit him sometimes, but it was like he's not getting up, and he just got up.
Oh, when I broke the huddle, he grabbed it. He said, hey, if you get single coverage, I'm throwing it.
They run out the clock. The Giants have won the Super Bowl.
Dread it, run from it, destiny arrives all the same.
Tom Brady got hit right on the knee. He got hit right on the knee. Kansas City came up with the ball, but that's not the story. Tom Brady took a tremendous hit as he released that ball right on his left leg.
Did you learn to love the game more, to appreciate it more by not playing it?
The game doesn't stop for anybody. It doesn't. It just, you get hurt, doctors come out, they wheel you off the field.
Intercepted by Polamalu.
And the ref blows the whistle for play, and the game continues. And that's exactly what should happen. It's this game is bigger than any player that's ever played this game. And you realize how fortunate you are to be a part of it when you can't participate.
Because it's unprecedented. There's nothing in history you can pull to and say, he's doing what this guy did.
Every time I take the field, I want to be the best quarterback on the field. In practice, I want to go out there and prove to the players that I'm the one that should be going out there and playing in the game on Sundays. And that's the way to do it. You got to earn it every week.
And his commitment to the game as far as taking care of his body, and they say it's just like having a coach on the field as far as the meetings. Tom Brady is running the meeting, installing parts of the offense, explaining the small little details of technique that typically even the quarterbacks don't get into.
Touchdown! Wow!
But Matt Castle won 11 games and couldn't win the division. The year before, Tom won 18, 16 in the regular season by blowout.
Touchdown! Benjamin Watson. Down 5, they'll go for 2.
Covering this guy, it's like he's the gridiron Gandhi. Like I don't even know. Like when you're watching it, it's just amazing the impact that he has on so many players and so many guys in the administration.
And the ball came out. It's free at the 30. Who's got it? The Patriots do. What a mistake by McKelvin.
You can't give Brady that kind of time. You can't help him that way. Tom Brady threw a touchdown pass in the last minute.
What has happened? I'm mad at Tom Brady because now every other quarterback is going to get compared to that.
Throwing end zone, touchdown, Watson!
But you can dance around all you want, but Tom Brady symbolizes not just greatness, but self-built, driven by dedication and sacrifice greatness.
With the 42nd pick in the 2010 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Rob Gronkowski.
Introduce
For the first time ever, Rob Gronkowski!
Caught on the run, touchdown, Rob Gronkowski.
There's no question in his mind. There's never been a tight end that possessed all the tools that he had. Guys that can run, that can catch, that can block, great in the red zone, great run after the catch. Yeah, there's no question in my mind he's the most dominant guy to play that position.
For years and years we've had this who's the best quarterback thing. We kind of acknowledge that Tom Brady's the best quarterback. Folks, it's in the Gretzky and Michael Jordan category now. It ain't close. Tom's lapping everybody.
It's unanimous. Tom Brady is the Associated Press 2010 NFL Most Valuable Player. They say it can't be done. They say we have no chance. Hey, let me tell you something. Any man can be beat on any day.
But Tom ain't throwing the ball to nobody, Drew. Some of these interceptions, like D. Hall said.
And the pass is picked off.
It's picked up by David Harris, who gets away from Brady. What a turn of events. Now being chased down by Crumpler at the 10-yard line.
Are plays that really young quarterbacks are supposed to make, not the Tom Brady that we're used to seeing. Tom has lost it.
Was missed one earlier. That's not even going to be a case now because Green is taking it home. Touchdown, New York. Well, we got a penalty on there.
And by the way, Tom Brady has a wet noodle for an arm right now. Say what it is. Let's just say what it is.
Does Eli Manning have a psychological edge over Tom Brady coming into Super 46?
We are now suggesting that Tom Brady is just ordinary people, right? I cannot argue with the stats we just saw up on the screen. And this further drives home my point. Tom Brady is under the most pressure of his entire NFL career.
Touchdown, Hernandez.
His legacy teeters on Sunday night in this Super Bowl.
And Brady's going to launch it deep, and it's incomplete because it's a little bit behind Welker.
Patriots hadn't won a playoff game.
Correct.
Since that time until this year. And so you go all of these years without even winning a playoff game. And then once you finally start winning postseason games again, you advance to the Super Bowl, and you've got to face the last person to beat you.
Hey, we gotta let him score, man. Oh, what is that? Gotta let him score. You gotta let him score.
Because if he has another un-Brady game, another Ravens game.
He wanted to stop, and he gets into the end zone. That's exactly what New England was doing. They were letting him go into the end zone.
I think he officially becomes overrated. I think people will step back a little further and say, hey, that 10-0 start had mostly to do with Belichick's defense.
Incomplete. And the New York Giants, given last rites by many in December, are the Super Bowl champs in February.
To go. Here comes Brady when after his last pass attempt was intercepted, you're thinking, well, not over, but over. Not yet.
Either cast-offs or you didn't know who they were a year ago. He's doing it once again.
Who takes a big hit across midfield, and he's slow to get up.
With guys who are not only replaceable, are largely anonymous if they weren't playing with Tom.
Down to the 17. The clock is at 15.
For Tom Brady, everyone wondering what his legacy is. Now his legacy is this.
Brady throws it to the end zone for Kenbrell Tompkins.
Too much is never enough.
He does it! Touchdown! Patriots! Kenbrell Tompkins!
Brady's back! That's your quarterback! Who loves the building? Unicorns! Show ponies! Where's the beef?
Tom Brady hasn't played well in the postseason. Why won't you look at these stats and
Okay, so I need
How much trouble are the Patriots in? That is the question. Stephen A. have the answer.
Oh my goodness, Skip Bayless, they're in a world of trouble.
Another Kansas City touchdown. What a quick lightning strike drive.
Bottom line this for us. Bottom line, he will not win he'll never win another Super Bowl.
He'll never get to another Super Bowl.
He'll never get to another
Super Bowl you saw this past year
so
was
we're
his last
saying
Super Bowl.
Look out, hurry from behind, knock the ball away. It's free, it's loose, and one of the all-time sack masters has done it again.
As he turns 35, he is definitely, I'm quoting you here, he's on the downside of his career. I want you to say that.
And it's intercepted. Complete miscommunication as Edelman stopped, and Sean Smith is setting up blocks. 25, 20, 15. Almost lost it. Down to the 13.
As he turns 35, Tom Brady's on the downside of his career. And if you ask me if he'll ever get to another Super Bowl, I have one answer. No way, no how.
Intercepted, cutting underneath. Hussein Abdullah all the way home.
the bully's house, you get the snot beat out of you. We saw a weak team. The New England Patriots, let's face it, they're not good anymore.
Be careful what you wish for. You might just get it.
You only knew the power of the dark side.
You're on to Cincinnati.
Brady throws, and that's caught at the 1 and into the end zone goes Tim Wright for the touchdown. And Brady fires it over the middle, caught, touchdown, Rob Gronkowski. Brady, as this is taken 7 yards deep. Brandon Tate loses the ball, and the Patriots pick it up and take it in.
Late they were getting to him. Play action, pump fake, now away. What a catch! Gronkowski gets up. Was he down?
This is why the Patriots are so great when it matters. They know when to mute themselves in the media. They know how to approach games like this.
Finishes this block well after the touchdown signal was called.
Finish him.
And I think Gronk, you see him flapping his fingers saying, that guy's been talking all game. I just threw him into the NBC camera.
33 carries. Brady. Look at that. Exclamation point.
Wow.
And if you ask me if he'll ever get to another Super Bowl, I have one answer. No way, no how.
The best part of that is they were telling Tommy that he was all done.
It was also worth wondering if the Patriots' incredible dynasty died at Arrowhead Stadium, too.
That's how bad the 41-14 loss was. The Patriots have never looked this incompetent in the Belichick-Brady era.
It started 7-8 months ago, right? All for this moment. It's about honor. It's about respect. We win this game, you're honored. Your kids are honored. Your families are honored. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3.
I'm so concerned that I'm going to say publicly, I'm not sure if he's in decline.
I am of the mindset that the Legion of Boom, sensing all the vitriol aimed in their direction, will rise to the challenge and remind everybody why they are the reigning, defending Super Bowl champions.
Can we get an amen?
And that's what this is coming down to.
Can we get
I'm rolling with the Legion of Boom.
From the choir.
To us yesterday, after what's been going on over the last 2 weeks, he said there would not be a game I would want to win more than this one.
No shortage of red meat in front of Tom Brady for this one, is there?
You're born alone and you die alone, and this world just drops a bunch of rules on top of you to make you forget those facts, but I never forget. I'm living like there's no tomorrow, because there isn't one.
Brady throws, caught, LaFell, touchdown.
That's why I'm scared to death. That's why I'm calling this an upset. That's why I'm saying Brady is going to have to be every bit Tom Brady at his greatest.
I think Brady's in a different league. I hate saying all this because I don't like Belichick winning, but Brady deserves it all.
Oh, you have Sherman. You can see him. He's in the slot.
Finish him.
And Brady's going to throw deep down the right side for Gronkowski and a touchdown.
Seattle was in position to win this game. Legion of Boom, different story. You didn't get there by luck. You got there because you outplayed New England.
Good hit, 72.
For a chunk of time when you outscored them 24-7 during that span. That wasn't luck.
Oh, and it's picked off at the 42-yard line by Bobby Wagner.
Now here's where you really, for Tom Brady, you kind of got to just keep it together, right? Okay, you made a big mistake to start the first half. You make a big mistake here in the second half, but these two teams have played from behind during the entirety of these playoffs. No big deal.
The lob wide open. Touchdown, Doug Baldwin.
Hey, we've been in worse situations than this, huh? Let's go, boys. It's our time. It's It's our time. Let's go.
All want to, not because you got to, because you want to. Not because you got to, because you want to, baby.
Let's go put together a drive, fellas. We'll be right in it.
Well, so how many quarterbacks would you have trusted down 10 with 12 minutes left against that Seattle defense in the history of the NFL? It's basically Brady and Montana, right?
I was trying to tell you all year long.
And it is taken by Edelman. And Edelman was knocked down.
Tom Brady is still the greatest quarterback in pro football today. He's greater than Aaron Rodgers. He's greater than Peyton Manning.
Third and 8 throws first down and more. Edelman takes the ball to the 3-yard line to set up a first down and goal.
But that Tom Brady is in a class by himself.
Shotgun snap to Tom. Shuffles left. Fires back to the end zone. Throws, and it will be caught. Amendola for the touchdown.
Tom Brady, against one of the best defenses of all times, threw for 328 yards and 4 touchdowns to 4 different receivers.
It's scared. It's hard as goal. It's almost goal. Hey, we need a big championship drive. That's what we need.
So when he goes home, he's been doing it for almost 10 days, he got a click in his hand. And he's clicking to find where your weakness is.
Fires caught. First down, and again, they go to Gronkowski. Tom Brady and the Patriots looking for a fourth-quarter drive to take the lead here at Super Bowl 49.
Say, how do you beat a master? You must study a master.
I'll take a Julian Edelman. Pound for pound, that kid is as tough as anybody in the National Football League.
Caught. Touchdown, Julian Edelman.
Now, Tom Brady's 13 game-winning drives in the playoffs are more than John Elway and Joe Montana combined.
He's got to make a play. Got to intercept one.
Tom Brady has won 6 playoff games when the opponent scored 28 or more points. No other quarterback has won more than 2.
Russell for Curse, and that's broken up again.
He caught it. Oh, and it was caught on the deflection. Caught on the ricochet. Curse has caught the ball at the 5.
I think Butler hit it, and it fell right back down to the ground. Unbelievable. That's exactly what happened, isn't it? How many different plays are the Patriots going to have like this? Mario Manningham, David Tyree.
Right.
And now a Curse. You know, Al, you play 16 games, couple of playoff games, and it comes down to one tip ball that falls on the ground to somebody who's lying on his back.
Finish him.
Now you have to stop Marshawn Lynch.
Here he goes. Beast mode. To the half-yard line.
3 corners. 3. Malcolm, go.
They're going goal line. They're going goal line.
But they're not in yet.
Time has come. Execute Order 66.
The quarterback Wilson is in the shotgun formation. Lynch will flank him to his left. 2 wide to the near side, 1 to the far. In the shotgun, there's the snap, it's still high. Quick throw, it's intercepted at the goal line. It's intercepted by Malcolm Butler.
Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler. Unreal. Malcolm Butler.
I'm just so happy that I didn't have to watch Richard Sherman run into fucking Brady's face and disrespect the guy again. That whole fucking you mad bro thing, I don't know.
Well, the sky was falling in early October. There's a lot of bright sunshine right now in Foxborough and all over New England. And after the wackiest lead-up to a Super Bowl ever, the New England Patriots are the NFL champions.
But let me first give praise to the great Tom Brady. The great Tom Brady. Tom Brady was absolutely sensational when it counted most.
To answer your question, Kay, yes, Tom Brady is the greatest football player of all time.
Speaking of Deflategate, I still say, and I'm going to sum it up.
Mental toughness, huh?
I just personally feel like Peyton has been better and done more with less over time. And I think Peyton's outplayed him.
Brady, though, goes down the field to Gronkowski, and he has the football at the 10-yard line.
The commissioner framed and railroaded Tom Brady to get even with the Patriots for their history of cheating.
With the game on the line, Brady.
This was when Manning was now with the Broncos, and Tom said,
Goes to the end zone for Gronkowski. Touchdown, Patriots! Defenders double covered again.
he's got 1 or 2 years left. I've got 7 or 8 years left. That'll be the final chapter. Game on.
Here's Brady. Rolling and throwing. It's tipped in the air. And it's intercepted. It's intercepted by Roby. He lost the football back at the 20, but it doesn't matter.
So, Brady versus Manning was always propelling him.
Breaking news, this just in. Our Andrew Brandt is reporting that the court has decided to rule in favor of the NFL, resulting in Tom Brady being suspended for the first 4 games of the season.
Did they or didn't they? It's the alleged cheating scandal launching 1,000 saucy headlines. Deflategate.
Turns out they are far from done with controversy. The Patriots are back again under scrutiny, and this time, the public and their peers are divided.
I didn't, have any, I didn't alter the ball in any way.
I just feel like, they're trying to keep us down. They're trying to keep us down. They don't like winners.
And I think the cheating scandal has hurt the Patriots with the neutral fan.
But that's the issue, is that on the outside or the surface, you might think everything is cool and they've won and wow, this is great, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. But behind there's something sinister, sneaky, dirty, that doesn't feel right.
I gotta admit this. I'm scared as hell of Brady right now. I mean, this dude is on another level to begin with. But what I think he's going to do right now, as if this dude, who is clearly an ultra competitor, as if he needed additional motivation.
On the field comes number 12. You want to give a guy, because he doesn't give you his cell phone, a punishment? I would never give an organization as
his first pass to Edelman.
leak prone as the NFL my fucking cell phone so you could just look through my emails?
Gronkowski inside the 20, the 15, the 10, and bounced down and out of bounds inside the 5. Brady. Outside and walking into the end zone is Martellus Bennett for the touchdown.
10 years from now, Tom Brady's retired, and somebody comes out with a book.
Throwing at the goal line, touchdown!
Somebody who worked in that organization, and they lay it all out on how the Patriots cheated and what advantages Tom Brady got.
Okay,
will that change how you look at him?
It's a man open, and he's got it! Inside the 10 to the 5, Chris Hogan.
Like, damn. I know this, that's TV, but you don't just miss 4 games and then come out and just throw 40 yards like that.
Brady, the 10, the 5, reaching for the end zone is Martellus.
We're debating whether or not they're going to lose, period. That tells you how well coached this team is, how good Tom Brady looked yesterday.
And the first words out of my mouth was,
Brady, good hands, James White takes it in, touchdown Patriots. Tom Brady is back. Brady tosses, low throw, Gronk has got it, touchdown Patriots.
And Tom Brady might wind up or will wind up as being Lance Armstrong without the bicycle.
Escape, throwing to the end zone, touchdown, Amendola.
Like, I call him Psycho Tom, but he goes a little nuts on the football field. He gets over emotional, and I've never seen a quarterback react like that.
And Brady very upset.
That's what you're dealing with. It's Jordan-esque because Michael would always pick out the littlest thing that somebody said and make it into the biggest mountain, and I'm going to show you.
Man running open. Chris Hogan off to the races. Touchdown, New England. No flags on the play.
When this story first broke, I thought it was the most ridiculous thing I ever heard in my entire life, okay?
The flea flicker. Brady to the end zone, and it's a New England touchdown. Right back to Hogan again. 3rd and goal. 19, and finding Edelman for the Patriot touchdown.
I just want to win. That's what he said. I've moved on. There's no thought of revenge. That's what Tom said on Friday.
I don't disagree. I think in my communications with people in that organization, I think Tom is going to prove it's us against the world.
Welcome to Super Bowl 51 between the New England Patriots and the Atlanta Falcons.
There is one conversation that no longer should be had, will be had. What we saw last night on the world stage of the Super Bowl was the minting of a goat.
What an emotional ride for Tom Brady. We learned as the week unfolded that his mother, Galen, has been battling illness for a year and a half. She made it to her first game this season on this Super Bowl Sunday.
The game will be in doubt late, but I'll take experience and balance and a history of achievement in the brightest glare.
Tom Brady, who has virtually every record for a quarterback during Super Bowl play, is out guiding this offense.
The thing about Tom Brady in recent years is now he is Dan Marino, Peyton Manning, and A-Rod, but he's clutch and wins.
In trouble inside, and it's Courtney Upshaw.
Brady sacked in midfield.
Doesn't even matter. Belichick can win with anybody. Tom Brady doesn't even matter. Tom Brady's no good. I didn't even want to read that.
And down he goes again.
I haven't even gone this morning. I don't even want to see that.
Way to win the first round. Tackling gonna be key.
From the 33, Blunt gets it on the handoff.
Blunt is tackled, and the ball pops out, and Atlanta's recovered with Robert Alford.
Blunt working for extra yardage. The ball ripped out by Deion Jones and Robert Alford. Johnny on the spot, and Atlanta's got it.
Regular season rush for over 120 yards per game. That was good for 5th in the NFL. Freeman, what a cut! Touchdown, Atlanta!
Wide left, he'll score standing into the end zone. He took a big leap, and Atlanta has grabbed the lead in Super Bowl 51.
And this will be the end of it, and we can move on from the Patriots. No Gronk, no hardware. You hear me? No Gronk, no hardware.
Kicker, Matt Bryant. 3rd down and 9. Touchdown, Austin Hooper.
Matt Bryant absolutely shot a laser in there.
Just to add to that stat about the largest deficit for the Patriots in a Brady Belichick Super Bowl, no team has ever come back from a 2-touchdown deficit to win a Super Bowl.
So now you don't have an elite playmaking difference maker on offense. You have a quarterback who really can't throw the ball down the field very well.
Execute Order 66.
Falcons overload the right side of the Patriots offensive line. Pass is picked. Intercepted, Robert Alford. He's gone. There are no flags. And the Falcons add to their lead. Alford with a pick 6.
First half comes to a close. The Falcons with a spring to their step. The Patriots, meanwhile, walking back toward the locker room, down 21-3.
It's Tom Brady, though, man. I know. I'm never comfortable. We about to put up 40-something on their ass. But I'm saying, they never seen anything like this.
Hey, no fear! No fear! Cut it loose!
the first pick six by Brady in his Super Bowl career. This is 7th.
Could you play any worse right now? Now you got problems.
I said Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback, even if he loses Super Bowl 51.
Gonna be a hell of a story.
Hell yeah. I said now if he wins this game, he's gonna be the GOAT.
3rd down and 12. Pass dropped, Edelman.
Told you before the season started, Tom Brady was going to fall off a cliff some point in the next 18 months. It's down about 15 or 16 months. That's exactly what's going to happen. Just like it happens to everyone else and has happened to everyone else who has ever lived.
Down the middle, wide open. Gabriel.
Act like Tom Brady, oh, he's still lethal, and don't buy into what's going on. Tom is playing a little game. He's going to act like he's struggling and then all of a sudden light it up. That guy is totally off base.
Never had a 100-yard game in the NFL. Here is Coleman, end zone, touchdown.
There's too many weapons, Wes. They got too many guys to pay attention to.
Let's go now. Let's start showing some fight. Come on now, let's go.
And a 28, New England 3.
Gotta play harder. Gotta play tougher, harder, tougher, everything. Everything we got.
Robert Kraft, who has had an unprecedented run of success as owner of the New England Patriots with his son Jonathan Kraft at his left, our right. He has never experienced anything like this in a Super Bowl.
And last night at halftime, everybody's all over TB12.
Brady has a man, 1st down, big conversion, Amendola, out of bounds inside the 40.
But what we saw last night.
Brady flushed out, will run and get it, and slide.
Is a conversation ender as to who the greatest quarterback in the history of the National Football League is.
Now they'll throw, pass is caught, that's White, touchdown.
That was the worst drive defensively of the game. Atlanta just did not tackle well in that drive, and it cost.
This one hits the upright. And there's not much going right for New England. You keep waiting because of their history.
Need a turnover. Need a turnover, D.
Because of his history. Talking about Tom Brady and talking about the New England Patriots to jump back in this game, get a key stop, get a turnover. It's not happening.
Now it's time for somebody on the defensive side to make a play to get them out right.
Tom Brady's just about done. It could be his next game he plays, it could be a year from now, but he is going to fall off a cliff. Tom Brady is going to be a bum in short order.
It's hit. Ball is out. This is a fumble. New England has it. Hightower knocked it out. And Branch recovers for the Patriots.
Patriots sacking, flying, and recovering at the 25.
We got a ball game now.
When they got the Hightower fumble sack and they showed Brady's reaction, that was the first time I actually thought the Pats had a chance.
Don't be alarmed by Tom Brady's struggle. So he's actually struggling.
End zone touchdown. Amendola.
Pats will go for 2, 5:56 to go here in the 4th.
I mean, we all know he's really good. This was mythical.
We just saw Tom Brady's rumble in Houston. It was incredible.
Direct snap. And it's good. James White. 8-point game.
But that was mythical. That's Halo stuff. That's Zaire. That's 104 hitting jumpers. It's the first time I walked out and I'm like, he's floating to that locker room.
Biggest lead was 25 points at 28-3 with under 2.5 left. Freeman is wide open. Nobody went with him. And Devontae Freeman makes a move out across the 45.
But the most feared is Julio Jones.
Extra men on the rush. Ryan steps through it. Throws on the run.
He's the one player on the field who you can do every single thing right to stop him and you still may not be able to.
With a catch. Phenomenal catch by Julio Jones on the sideline.
comeback in any game I've ever seen him been a part of. I don't care what sport.
Stumped up front defensively. Pass is incomplete. Gabriel the target.
Come on, boys, let's go now. Got locked in now, laser focus.
Oh, it was such a good drive for Atlanta. Now they're giving the ball back, and they're going to put Tom Brady in position to tie this game up.
I was waiting for what I believed was a Joe Montana moment from Tom Brady to eclipse him over Joe Montana. This was it. I concede. I have nothing to say. It's the greatest performance I've ever seen.
Pass is caught by Hogan.
I said this because over the history of his career, he has done nothing but win football games.
Here's Edelman broken up, and the pass is no sign yet. Edelman comes down with a football. They're saying it's a catch. Oh, that's a catch. Oh, my God. That's incredible.
I think he's right in there with Babe Ruth, Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, and Tom Brady. Those are the four guys on my Mount Rushmore.
Finds White. White down inside the 10.
Look at what Tom Brady does with how little and Belichick does with he's just mixing and matching guys. How many big stars? How many Hall of Famers, right?
For Tom Brady, it says a lot because to me, he is the Michael Jordan of football.
Touchdown, James White. Now the biggest two-point attempt in the history of the Patriots franchise.
That's almost expected from Tom Brady, so it loses the luster and we lose appreciation for it. So I'm going to put Tom Brady on the top of that list.
That is Amendola. Amendola's in.
I don't think anybody else could go in there and do what he does.
Best ever? Best ever in my book. I said it this week. Regardless of what happened tonight, it's the best I've seen. And put on a show here in the last 30 minutes of this ball game and to climb back in it.
Tom Brady now somehow is over 400 yards passing in this game.
Tom Brady is a game changer on the field, in the locker room, in life.
New England gets to call the toss. Heads. They have called heads. It is heads. New England has won the toss. Elected to receive.
Let's go score and win this thing, baby. For your mom. For your mom, bro.
They will receive the opening kickoff to the first ever overtime in Super Bowl history.
The common denominator here to me is Tom Brady. Without Tom Brady, this does not work. Without Tom Brady, we're not here. Without Tom Brady, that wonderful picture is not nestled behind you.
Sideline. What a throw, Amendola on the reception. One of the best in the game for Tom Brady.
How many quarterbacks in the history of football have passed for over 3,000 yards? Forget about 3,000 yards after the age of 40.
Pass is caught. Hogan inside the 40.
Tom Brady was down 28-3. It is the greatest comeback in the history of the Super Bowl.
Down the gut, pass is caught. Julian Edelman. Fake it to Hogan, flip it to White, looking for blocks. Getting blocks inside the 20, out of bounds at the 15.
When you talk about Tom Brady and the consistency that he's had throughout his career, and I compare him to Michael Jordan, and he's not only the greatest quarterback that have played in the NFL, he may be arguably the greatest player.
Here's Bennett. Flag is thrown.
He got hit yesterday.
A lot.
A lot.
The great Tom Brady had completed 10 in a row. Now second and goal.
I'm gonna rock you. I'm gonna rock you. I'm gonna rock you.
Begging for mercy, begging for mercy.
Toss to White.
There is one man in sports I do not bet against, especially when the stakes are highest. and the pressure is greatest. That man is Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr.
He's in! Patriots win the Super Bowl! Brady has his 5th! What a comeback!
They have completed the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history.
You're the greatest of all time.
We're here.
You're the greatest, and you're the greatest.
Against somebody who is considered to be the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL, playing like an MVP at age 39 in his 7th Super Bowl.
What he did today with that Gronk was simply incredible. To me, that performance today catapulted him up to being the best that ever did it.